No matter how many superstars are at the pinnacle of every sport, there is always one who stands out, a near mythical superhuman whose abilities all others are measured against. In golf, it's Tiger Woods. Basketball has Michael Jordan. Hockey looks to Wayne Gretzky. In poker, that man is Phil Ivey, a player whose abilities and accomplishments consistently earn him the highest-ranking acronym GOAT, or greatest of all time. And there is little hint that his career is nearing its end. Perhaps the best is yet to come. Philip Dennis Ivey Jr. was born in Riverside, California on February 1, 1977, but moved to Roselle, New Jersey as a baby. For someone who has spent so much of his adult life in the public eye, there is little known about Ivey's seemingly ordinary childhood and adolescent years. The second Ivey sighting is deliciously mysterious. He appeared at the poker tables at Atlantic City casinos, clutching the ID of a man named Jerome Graham. Graham was a raw but committed player who would spend long hours at the Taj Mahal's 7-card stud tables. Sometimes he missed the final bus home, or couldn't afford it after losing all he owned and was forced to sleep below the boardwalk. Regulars supposedly dubbed him No Home Jerome, though Ivey later admitted that some of the rumors about his wandering lifestyle were overblown. What is undeniable is that for the teenage Ivey who worked as a telemarketer during the day, the appeal of the double life was straightforward. Jerome Graham was over 21 and so permitted to play in Atlantic City. Even at this young age, Ivey aspired to be a professional poker player but lacked the necessary skills. "I don't know anything," he told Bluff several years later. "I just thought in my mind I'm going to make this work and I didn't have any other option. In my mind, I didn't even think that it was possible for it to not work out." During this time, Ivey formed several of his closest connections, particularly with a couple named Pat and Mel Humphreys, with whom he would eat lunch and discuss his future. The Humphreys eventually became Ivey's most visible supporters, appearing on the sidelines of important events wearing t-shirts and rosettes with Ivey's face. Ivey always recalled the help they had given him and obliged them with chat and photos. The shy megastar moving away from the TV cameras but ready to pose with seemingly eccentric old people pursuing him from the sidelines. After toughing it out as a novice young grinder, Ivey was in a different position when he returned to the tables under his own name in February 1998, age 21. He advanced quickly through Atlantic City's stud games, starting at $3, $6 and progressing to $75, $150, the highest payout at the time. He had preserved his bankroll by playing a much tighter style in his early years as a player, but he was now experimenting with tournament poker, which allowed for more expansive play. His first reported tournament cash came in December 1998 when he finished first in a Customer Appreciation Invitational Tournament at the Tropicana Hotel, earning $1,000. The tournament was most likely a free roll for the card room's most loyal patrons, but within 18 months, the former rewards grinder had evolved into the tournament titan we know today. Ivey won his first major tournament in April 2000, the Jack Binion World Poker Open in Tunica, Mississippi, defeating a field of 297 players in a $500 buy-in event. It was worth $53,000. That same month, Ivey reached his first World Series final table in Las Vegas, finishing 6th in a $2,000 no-limit hold'em event. 5 days later, he won his first bracelet, defeating 100 of the world's greatest PLO players. The final table included 3 future Poker Hall of Famers, Ivey, Phil Hellmuth, and Dave Olliott, as well as seasoned rounder Thomas Amarillo Slim Preston. Despite Preston's constant chit-chat attempting to unsettle the young pretender, Ivey defeated him heads up. Preston made his final World Series appearance and the baton was easily passed to the king of the new guard. Ivey was also only the second African-American player to win a World Series of Poker bracelet. Despite poker's progressive spread over the world, the game remains largely white. In 2002, Ivey made 5 final tables at the World Series and won 3 bracelets in 7-card stud, stud high-low, and shoe. He also made his first deep run in the WSOP main event, finishing 23rd. He won 2 more bracelets in 2009 and made the main event final table, finishing 7th. He won a horse title in 2010 and made 5 final tables in 2012, but only collected bracelets 9 and 10 in 2013 and 2014, respectively. Ivey's bling comes entirely from non-Hold'em tournaments, with 13 of Hellmuth's 16 titles coming from Hold'em and each of Ivey's 10 coming from mixed games. His WPT title was won at the 2008 Los Angeles Poker Classic, and he finished runner-up in an EPT main event during the tour's second season. Ivey's role in the birth of the poker boom is one of his most painful memories. In 2003, Ivey was at his peak of power and seemed to be a near-certain bet to make the final table of the main event with only 10 players left. However, a miracle ace landed on the river, making Moneymaker a better full house and sending Ivey out. Ivey became an inaugural member of Team Full Tilt, the cadre of frontline pros who became the figureheads of the nascent online card room. With a reputation for embracing all variants and relishing the highest stakes, Ivey quickly found a home at the nosebleed cash tables on Full Tilt during their most populated period, where six-figure skirmishes came thick and fast. Ivey was involved in intense action with opponents like Victor Isildur Blom, Ilary Zygmunt Sahames, Patrick Antonius, and Tom Dwan. He made an annual profit on Full Tilt from 2007 to 2010 with $2 million, $7 million, $6 million, and $2.2 million. However, the events of Black Friday in 2011 and the unraveling of Full Tilt's scandalous secret led to Ivey's step back from the game. He took a principled stance, refusing to play the WSOP in 2011 due to frozen funds. When Full Tilt returned, Ivey played under the screen name Polarizing, but lost $6.3 million. Ivey's career was punctuated by rumors of winning $16 million in 3 days, playing $25,000, $50,000 hold'em against billionaire Andy Beal. He spent years as a fixture in Bobby's room at the Bellagio, Las Vegas, where he played the biggest US-based cash games in the city. The Aria launched a rival to Bobby's room called the Ivey Room, which stayed until 2019. By 2019, Ivey was reportedly finding games of even higher stakes in Asia, playing most of his poker out of the public eye and learning new skills. Earlier in his poker career, Ivey was known to have a preference for craps, which is a common leak among less disciplined poker players, particularly those of the old school. Despite his continued interest in casino table games, Ivey's acute eye led him to what should have been a considerably more profitable activity at the Punto Bacco Baccarat tables. That is, if the oldest gaming proverb, "the house always wins," weren't true. Ivey's antics at the Punto Banco tables have garnered far more attention in the media than his poker. The short story is that over multiple sessions of Punto Bacco, Ivey won at least $10 million at the Borgata Casino in Atlantic City and roughly £7.3 million at Crockford's in London. Enormous sums in what is essentially a break-even game, with the house a slight favorite. In both casinos, Ivey discovered a technique to turn the advantage in his favor by exploiting minor flaws in the patterns on the back of specific cards. Ivey and a friend asked that the decks be flipped in a precise direction so that they could discover anomalies in the patterns, a procedure known as edge sorting. The ignorant casinos complied with the request, as they would with any high roller's allegedly superstitious inclinations. But with this new knowledge, Ivey and his partner were able to secure these remarkable victories. Long court fights ensued when the casinos caught on, with the Borgata claiming their millions plus legal fees and successfully seizing assets, including money from a WSOP tournament, while Crockford's just refused to pay up. The debate and legal standoff lasted many years until they were resolved. By then, Ivey had become well known as the gambler who outwitted the unquestionable institutions but was forced to pay the price, rightly or wrongfully. Among poker fans, the Punto Banco controversies just added to Ivey's mystery. They continue to eat up any scraps Ivey throws their way. In a candid 2020 interview given by his colleague high roller Barry Greenstein, Ivey admits to having an obsessive nature that drives him to go to lengths to achieve in any endeavor. He does, however, hint at a more peaceful life away from the tables, noting that he owns a restaurant and manages several music artists, and that he enjoys golf, meditating, yoga, reading, and spending time with his family. Ivey's present is simple. No matter the stakes or the game, he will be present and the best player at the table. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up.